So in this session we are going to discuss about a topic called first hop redundancy protocols, FHRP. So there are three major protocols which are used for providing redundancy in the network. Like if you remember in our default routing concepts, in general, let's take an example. I have a router which is connected to my LAN, and in the LAN I have multiple users in the LAN, okay, and this router is connecting to my service provider from where I'm able to access my internet services. So now what we are going to do is this branch office again connecting to some other branch offices. That is a different thing again. Assuming that this router is connecting to ISP, so we will go to this router and we are going to configure IP route command, and then we'll say 0000, where we are going to define the default route, and then whatever be the subnet mask, simply forward it to next hop. Assume the next hop address is 2.2.2.2. So once I define this, automatically all the users in my LAN, if any unknown packet comes, let's say this user want to go to any yahoo.com, it reaches your gateway, and this router is going to forward the packet to the next hop, because any unknown destination, simply forward it to 2.2.2.2. From there reaches the ISP and reaches the internet. So this is the way we provide access to our internet connections. So this is something what we also learned in our default routing concepts. But now what happens if the link connecting to ISP goes down? Maybe the ISP goes down due to any reason. Through this ISP I'm not able to access the internet, which means a single point of failure. So you just have a single point of failure because there is only one ISP connection which is going, and as of now it is down. So now to provide redundancy in our scenario, what we can do is we can add one more line, so which is generally a most common practice. So you're going to take another line from another service provider, which is again connecting to internet, and maybe the next hop address is 1.1.1.1 something, okay. So now what we are going to do is we are going to the same router again, and I'm going to add one more command. I'll say IP route, whatever be the destination, whatever be the subnet mask, and then the next hop address is 1.1.1.1, and then I'm going to define the administrator distance. If you remember, we have an option called administrator distance. So here I got into command line of the router just to show you the commands. In general, we type the command called IP route, destination network ID. We can just define the destination network ID, anything. So we are going to use default route, so I'm going to say 00000000. The next hop address, so IP route, just a minute. You can see the option here. Once I give question mark, I can define the next hop address. The next hop address I'm going to say 2.2.2.2 as per our diagram. And then if you use question mark, there is one more option called administrator distance here. So this administrator distance is going to decide which route is more preferred. So now in our example here also what we are going to do is, instead of defining the default values, like instead of defining these values, I'm going to change the administrator distance of this route is 10. So when you're defining two values, the first value, which is using the default route via ISP1, which is maybe I'm using some high-speed internet connection, maybe some 8 Mbps line I'm using, and this is the second ISP line which I'm taking just 2 Mbps of line, and I want to ensure that my 2 Mbps line from ISP2 must be used as a backup link. So in that case we can increase the administrator distance of that route. So when I say administrator distance 10, by default it uses 1 here. It's going to always prefer the first route. In case if that particular static route fails, then only it is going to shift to the alternate route. So using two different connections from two different ISPs, maybe same bandwidth or different bandwidths depending upon the requirement, we are going to provide the redundancy option here. The main advantage in this scenario is we get the redundancy for ISP, where the end users in the LAN, they will not experience any delay, because in case the router is not able to forward the traffic from the ISP1 due to any reason, if that link fails or the ISP goes down, automatically it will redirect the traffic from the alternate route, because we have configured both the default routes in our routing table. So this way we are providing the redundancy, but the major drawback with this one is, what happens if the router fails? So there is no redundancy for the hardware. There is redundancy for your ISP connections, but there is no redundancy for your hardware or your gateway. Okay, so there is no redundancy for the gateway because there is only one physical gateway. So you can say I'm going to replace with a new router, but even if you replace with a new router, still it will take some time for you to provide the connectivity. At the same time, you have to load the configurations on the router, means all the routing configurations, everything like ACLs, NAT, whatever is configured. Loading all those configurations, it will easily take some time. So meantime, these users in the LAN, they will not be able to access the resources on the other end. So it can be internet or it can be any other, majorly internet we use. Okay, so there is no redundancy for your hardware. So that's the major drawback with this one. So to overcome this, what we are going to do is we are going to use something called FHRP, first hop redundancy protocols. Typically there are three types of protocols we call VRRP, GLBP and HSRP. These are the three major protocols which we use, and these protocols will overcome the disadvantage whatever we face here. Okay, so the main concept here, so I'm not getting into this particular part, default routes. You already know how to do these things in your basic routing studies, in your basic CCNA studies, but in this session we are going to focus on the different options of the default route we have, and how we are going to implement and how they are exactly going to work. So we call them as first hop redundancy protocols, and these are the three protocols. Generally HSRP is a Cisco proprietary. We'll see the differences, but before we get into the differences, the first thing we need to understand is the behavior and the advantage what we get. Okay, so let's move on with the advantage here. Let's try to see the difference. So let us verify how HSRP, VRRP or GLBP works here. So I'm going to take one scenario here where I got a LAN here. So they're all my users in my LAN. So it can be one physical PC or it can be multiple physical PCs. Okay, so what I'm going to do is it can be hundreds of computers in my LAN. So instead of connecting our router to internet using one gateway, we are going to connect it from two different gateways. So let us see more clearly here. So already we have internet line which is coming from service provider, and it is going to come from ISP1, which is my first service provider, and then it's going to connect to my router 1, or it can be another router. Okay, so similar way I'm going to take two different ISP lines here. So one coming from ISP1, maybe coming from ISP2. This is ISP2. Instead of connecting these two connections on the same router, because if you're going to connect them on the same router, if this router fails, it's a single point of failure, because the default routes are configured on the router. If the router is down, your entire users will not be able to access internet. So to overcome these things, what we are going to do is we are going to take the same line, maybe from the same different service provider. Don't go with the same service provider, preferably to go with another service provider, and then it is connecting to some other router, maybe on the router 3, two different routers, and then these two routers are again they are connecting to my LAN, to the switch on the two different ports. Okay, now in my LAN user there is a user, let's say 192.168.1.1 is the IP address. In my LAN I'm using 192.168.1.1 network. So now I want to ensure that all my LAN users should be able to access internet without any delay. I should have redundancy, which means automatically my traffic may be using the first gateway. If that gateway fails, it should automatically get redirected from the second gateway. Okay, so now what is the solution here? So the solution here is, if you remember, we are going to assign the gateway IP address, whatever the interface connecting to the LAN, that will be our gateway IP address. So I'm going to say 192.168.1.100 here, and I'm going to use 192.168.1.200 here, because we cannot use the same IP for two different devices. Now these two gateways are actually the same LAN interfaces. So these two gateways and my LAN, they should be in the same network. That is the basic networking we know. But now the question is, on this PC, I need to tell the IP address. In my case, I'm using the IP address as 192.168.1.1 is the IP address of my users. Other users may be using 192.168.1.2, 1.3, it will go on. Now subnet mask, maybe I'm using /24 subnet mask. Now I need to define what is the default gateway for my LAN users. Now I should use this gateway from router 1, or I should use the gateway from router 3. if I define the gateway address as 192.168.1.100, let's say, all my traffic will be going via the first gateway, because in my PC I was defined with a gateway address of 192.168.1.100, which means the second gateway is not at all used. And if I define the gateway of 192.168.2.1.200, which means all my traffic will be going via ISP2, which is 1.200. So even I cannot say that I'll use the 1.100 for half of the users. I'll use half of the users will use this gateway. That is okay. Maybe you are using two different gateways, but in case if something goes wrong, let's say this gateway is down, or maybe the ISP is down, there is some problem from ISP side, or maybe the link connecting to ISP is down, or maybe the link connecting to router 1 to the LAN goes down. If something goes wrong on that particular path, automatically the users who are using this gateway will not be able to access internet. So it's simple, those users will not be able to access internet. And changing the gateway in the production network is not possible. No, you cannot even say that I will use 192.168.1.100 as a gateway for all my users in the LAN. In case if they complain that there is a problem, they were not able to access some services on the internet, then I will change the gateway to 200, which is not possible, because changing the IP address, because already the users will be getting the IP address through DHCP, maybe in the production networks, or changing the IP address and the gateway. Even the end users do not have permissions to change their own gateways. They might need to restart their PCs to get a new gateway address, or they may need to change the IP addresses. It's not really possible in the production network changing or switching to gateways by changing the physical gateway addresses is not possible. So instead what we are doing is we are going to configure something called HSRP. Anyway, HSRP, VRRP, GLPP all will do the same job, similar job. I'm going to use these protocols. Any one of these protocol I'll be using. And using this protocol, I'm not going to use this gateway, I'm not going to use this gateway. Instead, I'm going to configure one virtual gateway. So this is your virtual gateway. Now virtual gateway means there is no physical device with this IP address. There is no physical device in the network with that IP. So it's a IP address, it's a combination of both the gateways, both the physical gateways. Okay, so I'm going to define it here. Now once I create this virtual gateway by using some specific set of commands, okay, so once I create those things, so automatically it is going to make any one route as a primary gateway. So now it depends upon the administrator to decide who should become a primary. So let's take an example. This ISP1 line is using 8 Mbps, and maybe the ISP2 line is just using 2 Mbps of line. So I always recommend and I suggest to use 8 Mbps line as a primary gateway, and you can configure ISP2 line as a secondary gateway. The meaning of this is primary gateway means all my users. So on the LAN I need to define the gateway address as 192.168.1.50. Now automatically all my traffic will be going via the primary gateway, and in case if something goes wrong with my primary gateway, automatically the traffic will be redirected from secondary gateway without the knowledge of end users. End users do not really experience any delay, maybe in fraction of seconds. Like HSRP will take converge in fraction of seconds, 10 seconds. So might be 10 seconds the end user will not be able to access internet or access any services on the internet, but automatically the traffic will be redirected from secondary gateway. So this is the concept of HSRP, these redundancy protocols, which are going to provide redundancy in your production networks by connecting two or more physical gateways acting as a one common gateway. Now here these two gateways are actually different physical gateways, but they are acting as one gateway because at a time one gateway is used, and in case if that primary gateway fails, automatically it is going to shift to alternate gateway. But on the end side, these particular end users will see that they have only one common gateway. So they will feel that as if they have only one common gateway, but there is no gateway present with this address 192.168.1.50. Instead, this address is a combination of multiple physical gateway addresses. So this is what majorly these protocols will do. Like here I can see the same concept I'm going to use here. So we are not assigning this gateway address and we are not assigning this gateway address. These are the actual physical interface gateway addresses, where one is going to act as an active router. Active means primary in HSRP terminology, and standby is a backup or secondary, we can say. So we are not going to define these gateway addresses. Instead, we are going to define the virtual IP address, which will be acting as the gateway for all the users in my LAN. So using this, automatically your traffic will be forwarded through the primary gateway to reach your internet. And in case if something goes wrong with this gateway, maybe the interface goes down, router goes down, or the interface connecting to ISP goes down, automatically it is going to redirect the traffic from alternate gateway. So the end users will never experience any delay. So this is the one of the major concept in your production network, because every organization need to have redundancy. So companies definitely they prefer redundancy options, and this is the way we can provide redundancy. But this will not happen automatically. You have to configure some commands in order to have this type of reachability.